So this one, what we're going to do is we're actually going to attempt to draw some kind of fur. And you are going to possibly be stressed out at first because drawing fur is hard. But don't worry, I'm going to guide you through it. And then I'm going to have a bunch of resources for you, and I have a bunch of other stuff that we're going to go over. So don't worry about, you'll have lots of stuff to look at. But, all right, so let me see. What do I think I want for a fur brush? I think I'm just going to choose this pencil brush. And so fur is kind of interesting. Actually, let me pull up. I'm going to post some other resources that you've probably already kind of seen. But if I go to... So I'm going to embed this video because I think it's a really good example of like different ways to draw fur. And basically short fur is a bunch of little lines. Well, they're both a bunch of little lines, but with the bigger fur, you actually clump things together in sections. But for your sanity and, if you're someone that's drawn a lot of fur already and you're like, I got this, no problem, then just, draw some fur on the circle and I'll be happy. Here's another fur practice that I like this image. We're going to be doing something a little bit more simple, something more like this. But, you can get really detailed with it, and that's what really brings that realistic look. But anyways, let's just do some simple fur so we don't stress anybody out here. Okay. So for this simple fur, I'm going to choose not quite black, maybe like a really dark gray. And then let me just see how this thickness of brush is working. Oh, I need a new layer. That's all on its own. There we go. So I could probably do a little bit bigger brush here. Yeah, and so what we're going to do is we're just going to create a fur ball, basically. And you're just going to practice doing a very detailed surface. So what you're going to do is you're going to start... Now with fur, it's all about variation. Like I was saying, if you want stuff to be realistic, it's about variation of line and being unpredictable and feeling organic, okay? So what you're going to do is, to the best of your ability, you're going to go through and you're going to fill this sphere with lines. And what your goal is on the contour line here is to break it up. You want to break it up. You can't have fur without this sort of fuzzy contour to it, right? So yeah, I want you to just put on some music, get into it, take 15-20 minutes and draw me a fur ball. That's it. And it'll be short hair, so that's easier. I have, you can check out the video, and then I have something else I'm going to show you later on that kind of goes over how to do the longer fur. But we're just worried about short fur. And quite honestly, this fur is a little bit... See how it's too nice? It looks like it's kind of flattened down so far. Like, let's back it out a little bit. See how it seems like it's flattened down, like it just got brushed? If we want to make it a little bit more wild, then again, it goes back to that variation of direction, variation of type of line, variation of shape, in terms of like how hard I'm pressing down and how thick of a line it's making because of that. See, that's the thing, that's the rookie mistake with eyelashes, is people always want eyelashes. People always tend to make eyelashes like this. Like they're all straight in a row. But that's not how eyelashes look at all. Eyelashes are more random and more subtle than that. you know, they grow out in different ways and they're all different lengths. So that's kind of just like the basis of fur is that, or any kind of texture that has, you know, tiny things growing out of it. And then the thing is that if you want your fur to be the same like length throughout, you just got to keep your lines the same. You know, you want to vary their width, but kind of keep them in the same ballpark. And that's going to keep your fur the same length in air quotations. Because these are all different lengths, sort of, but... And so, you know, it doesn't really look impressive. And then when you back it up, you're like, wow, you know, that really looks like some fur. And then another thing you can do, you know, once you add, so it's all about base layers, right? So if we add another layer here, and let me just choose a different brush. I'll just go with this one. Oh my gosh. Sorry, y'all. I haven't used actually my drawing tablet in a while, and so my computer's kind of going wacko. So let me just choose a really light gray. I'm going to kind of add kind of a base underneath this fur, because right now it kind of feels like the fur, it's like, well, it looks like it's on, you know, a really light surface, which probably isn't the case. It's like an animal. So we'll go in and, oops, let me make that really big, I guess. Kind of just give it, maybe I need more like the soft round. And then I want the opacity to be really low, so like 15%. I'm gonna just go in and kind of add some background to that fur. See, once we add that in, now we really got some fur going on. All right, so I'm gonna go back to my pencil. I'm gonna go back to my darker gray. Somewhere in there. I'm gonna keep drawing my fur. Of course, my pencil is small again. So, you know, up close it doesn't look like much, right? But once you get farther away, I'm gonna just go in and do some really dark ones that are shorter to kind of just really establish that short length. And then you can go in and, you know, if you want to go in and fill in, like, let's say we bring this opacity to about 30 or something like that, you could go in and add some more expressive ones that are kind of like covering more area. And that'll help add some dimensionality and variation. I don't know if you can see that, where I just added those larger strokes of that pencil. You can see how it's kind of filling it in more. So we're going from an animal that has kind of sparse, wiry hair to an animal that has more full coat of fur by just adding in a little bit of dark value. You see that? It's magical. Drawing's magical. Painting is magical. Digital painting is magical. Look, we're giving this little fur ball nice, healthy coat now, just by adding a little bit. Okay. So, Yep, and I started drawing on the wrong layer, so which is fine, really. Um, it depends on what you do. Like, I usually a lot of times draw these to reveal things because I'm teaching or whatever. So I was drawing on the wrong layer. I'll probably just end up merging these two, but you can kind of see, at least up here anyways, what it looks like underneath the fur. And then when you add those line details. Anyways, that's how you make fur. So yeah, to conclude of this part, we're gonna continue to work on this artboard, so don't worry. But what I want you to do is, to the best of your ability, spend 15, 20 minutes, not a ton of time, but I want you to make a fur ball here, okay? And I don't care what it looks like. I just want to see that you really tried to make a fur texture to the best of your ability. And so we've got two very different types of surfaces here. And what it is like, when you start to learn to draw and paint and you use value and texture to create all these different surfaces, is that you kind of build up a vocabulary. So like all the different textures that you draw, those are like different letters for a language, right? But the language is to create three-dimensional imagery. So anyways, don't worry about what it looks like, but these two spheres are going to be part of what you're going to submit for the tutorial. So and again, if this is something that you already have experience in, some of you are in that boat right now, don't worry, just quickly do the things that I'm doing. They'll take you just a few minutes, and you'll turn your stuff in. So, but for those of you that have never done this before, it's intimidating and it's stressful, and I know that you're working really hard. But this is going to give you that advanced area of digital painting that you should have, when you are in an illustration class. So, all right, go ahead and finish your fur ball here, and I will see you in a little bit. Okay, bye.